2 years ago, my life completely fell apart because of my own sister, the person I trusted the most, the one I believed would always have my back no matter what, and yet she destroyed me in ways I can hardly describe without shaking. It started with what she called an emergency, but what was really an excuse for her to manipulate and exploit me, as she stole every piece of my personal information, my social security number, my banking details, my personal records, and used it to open multiple credit cards in my name, racking up over $25,000 in debt, a sum that didn't just hurt my wallet but erased my financial identity, and left me scrambling to prove to the world, to banks and to the police, that I had not committed fraud, that I had not stolen from myself. And yet it felt like nobody really understood. Nobody could see the trauma that accompanied the anxiety, the sleepless nights, the crushing stress that settled in my chest like a lead weight every time I saw another notice, another bill, another reminder that my sister had stolen not only money but my trust, my sense of security, and my peace of mind. And when I confronted her, when I tried to explain that what she did was not just reckless but criminal, she didn't apologize, she didn't acknowledge the damage, she didn't even look remotely remorseful. Instead, she was angry, furious that I had involved the police, that I had filed reports, that I had contacted creditors, as if her being caught was worse than the months and months of my life that she turned into chaos, as if the ruined credit score, the constant late notices, the endless disputes with banks, the humiliation of having to explain to every financial institution that I was a victim and not a criminal, were somehow my fault. And meanwhile my parents, the people who raised us and who I thought would protect me, have been pressuring me, subtly, then not so subtly, to forgive her, to let it go, to embrace the sister who stole my life and turned it into a financial nightmare, as if 2 years of anxiety, panic attacks, and insomnia meant nothing, as if all the effort I've poured into rebuilding my life, disputing charges, and slowly clawing my way back from the edge was irrelevant compared to some idealized version of family harmony that only exists in stories. Because the reality is that every interaction with her is a reminder of betrayal. Every phone call, every message, every encounter is loaded with the history of what she did. And I still relive the horror, the disbelief, the anger, and grief that washed over me when I first realized what she had done. The way I had to call the banks, explain over and over again that the debts weren't mine. The way I had to sit with creditors who didn't care about my emotional state, only the numbers on the page. The way every little transaction she made was a dagger in my back. And yet she walks around like nothing happened, like she's the victim of circumstances she created. And sometimes, I imagine what it would be like to truly confront her with the reality of the damage, to make her feel even a fraction of the fear and helplessness I felt. Though I know it won't change her, because she thrives on control, on manipulation, on turning situations so the world looks at her and sees a misunderstood, struggling sister. Well, I am the one left to clean up a mess that was never mine to begin with. And at night I lie awake thinking about the months of financial chaos, about the calls from collections agencies, about the letters threatening legal action, about my credit score plummeting, about the dreams of buying a house, a car, or even just feeling stable again, evaporating because of her selfishness. And when my parents say things like "you need to forgive her or family is family," it feels like they are asking me to betray my own pain, to ignore the destruction she caused, to validate the actions of someone who never once validated my existence, my feelings, or my suffering. And I hate that I still care about what they think. That part of me still wants their approval, their understanding, their recognition that I am not the problem, that I am not the villain in this story. But the truth is that forgiveness isn't something I can conjure on command. It's not something I can force because the damage isn't superficial, it's deep. It's daily. It's the way I check my credit report obsessively, the way I feel a pit in my stomach whenever I see her name on social media, the way I flinch at the sound of my own phone number being called, the way I relive conversations and moments in my head, analyzing, overanalyzing, wondering how someone could betray me so completely. And even though I want to be done, even though I want to move on, her shadow is everywhere, in every late payment, in every call from a collection agency, in every bank notice, and even in family gatherings, where I am expected to smile and act like everything is normal, where my parents' insistence on forgiveness feels like they are prioritizing her comfort over my survival, over my sanity. And sometimes I imagine subtle revenge, not anything illegal, just ways to ensure she can't walk away from the consequences she refuses to acknowledge, ways to protect myself from further damage, ways to reclaim even a tiny piece of the life she tried to steal. And yet, the dominant emotion remains heartbreak, because it's not just money, it's not just credit. It's the betrayal of blood, of trust, of family, the realization that the person I thought would protect me instead weaponize my life against me, and it lingers in every part of my daily routine, in the mail and phone calls, in quiet moments alone, when I am forced to confront the reality that sometimes family isn't the safe harbor you think it is, that sometimes love is conditional, and sometimes survival means recognizing the harm and protecting yourself first, even if the rest of the world, including your parents, wants you to act otherwise. And every time I try to forgive, I am reminded that forgiveness without accountability is meaningless, that moving on isn't about pretending nothing happened but about rebuilding while acknowledging the trauma, while refusing to let the person who hurt you continue to dictate your life. And the mix of anger, betrayal, grief, and tiny sparks of hope that I will one day be free of this shadow is exhausting, but necessary, because surviving this, truly surviving, means owning my own story, telling it in full, in every horrifying, enraging, heartbreaking detail, and refusing to let anyone, even family, pressure me into closure or reconciliation before I am ready, because some wounds take years to heal, and some betrayals leave scars that no platitudes can erase. And so I live with it every day, carrying the weight, carrying the lessons, carrying the anger, the heartbreak, and the cautious, flickering hope that one day, just as small or large, legal or personal, will feel at least a little bit like breathing again.